Joining me now is comedian and host of Prime Time with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex Stein, he is my second favourite Texan in the world. Alex, let's start with JD Vance, the incoming Vice President, has said that Donald Trump will issue pardons for peaceful January 6 protesters only. Is that enough? Should every January 6 prisoner now be released? They've been behind bars for several years.
Rita, they should all be pardoned on day one. This is something that I'm very passionate about because there was a lot of bad actors at play that day, and there's people that were pushed in there that didn't even know what they were doing, and there was a lot of bad actors. And if Donald Trump does not pardon them, because what it comes down to is whether they acted bad or not, nobody that had a trial in Washington, D.C. had a fair trial. All of the trials were rigged against them. So because of that, because they weren't on a level playing field legally and nothing was fair when it came to the legal system, they all deserve a pardon, even if they did something that would be considered violent, because none of them got a fair shake. So Donald Trump has to do that, not just on day one, but it has to get done very fast. People will give them, the cabinet some time to get this done, but it has to be done, and it needs to be a high priority, probably the most important priority.
This is a big issue for a lot of Donald Trump's supporters. This is something the media doesn't seem to understand. This is not a secondary issue. The lawfare that has taken place in that country, not just against President Trump, but also against his supporters, against conservatives, that was a big issue in the election campaign. And I think the supporters of Donald Trump expect to see actions now. He's talked a big game, and they now want to see him follow through with some of those promises.
You're exactly right, and he has to. I mean, Kash Patel, a lot of people in the cabinet, they know that nobody got a fair shake, and they know that a lot of people's lives are ruined. And just, having the Department of Justice weaponized against American citizens, Trump knows that the Department of Justice was weaponized against him, so he should be more empathetic than anybody when it comes to January 6th. And all those people were there because, they didn't trust the election, and it's not Donald Trump's fault, but I think that he can make it better and rectify it, and he should use his power to do so.
Now, there are reports that President Joe Biden, he is still president, is going to issue a preemptive pardon for some of Donald Trump's enemies. He gave his son Hunter sort of a preemptive one. He cleared him of all the charges he was facing and any charges he may face. And the suggestions he might provide something similar to the vice chairwoman of the January 6 committee, Liz Cheney. What do you think about that?
I mean, when it comes to Liz Cheney, this guy's letting people out of Guantanamo Bay. I mean, there's nobody that Joe Biden won't pardon. So the fact that he's going to pardon Liz Cheney, I don't even care. He's literally pardoning some of the most evil people in the world. So Liz Cheney doesn't even move the scale, in my opinion.
And the number of people he's using his pardon powers for is astonishing. We might look at that later in the week, but some would say he's abusing that privilege. Well, he's certainly abusing it in the people he's selecting to pardon. Special Counsel Jack Smith, I want to talk to you about him, Alex. He's the man who was at the forefront of the witch hunt against Donald Trump. He's now resigned from the Department of Justice after submitting his final report yesterday. Donald Trump has reacted to this resignation. He said that Smith was fired. He wrote on Truth Social, deranged Jack Smith was fired today by the DOJ. He is a disgrace to himself, his family and his country. After spending over $100 million on the witch hunt against Trump, he left town empty-handed. And let's have a listen to what incoming FBI Chief Kash Patel had to say about Smith a little while ago.
The judge just unsealed documents in the Jack Smith case down in Florida, which says the prosecutors themselves have admitted to tampering with evidence, to moving the very boxes from one location outside of D.C. to South Florida before they ever even charged Donald Trump. How in the world can you not be prosecuting and charging these constitutional gangsters that are at DOJ? And they learn it from the same place, the top down, the same AGs, the same DAGs, the same FBI directors who are cheering them on. Judge Cannon should be implementing actual contempt proceedings against Jack Smith and the Department of Justice for lying to a federal judge and withholding evidence of exclusion and innocence from Donald Trump. Those contempt proceedings would be righteous, and I'd like to see those. Maybe we could put Jack Smith in prison.
Wow, that's Kash Patel on the Benny Show. What do you think, Alex? Should Jack Smith end up behind bars?
I mean, honestly, I don't disagree with anything that Kash said. I mean, these people have weaponized our Department of Justice, or what we call the Department of Injustice, against American citizens, and the top American citizen, Donald Trump, and he hasn't gotten a fair shake. And that's why you could say that, you know, his first term and the presidency was constantly plagued by people like this attacking him and going after him, trying to impeach him. So people like this need to learn their lesson. I don't know if they will actually prosecute him, but people need to stop messing with Donald Trump and try to help him make this country great again. I mean, California is on fire. We're having terrorist attacks. Everybody's worried for their lives, Rita, and that's not really just an over-exaggeration. America, we're just, everything's shifted, and everybody's expecting something big to happen, and we need these people to all come together, whether they're a liberal, it doesn't matter if they're conservative, and support the president. He's been elected, in my opinion, 3 times in a row, and definitely 2 times. So he deserves America's respect. And people like Jack Smith, see you later. I would not want to switch positions with you right now.
Yes, the rubbish is taking itself out, but I think you'd be naive to think the swamp, the bureaucracy, whatever you want to call them, are going to say the president has a mandate and we're going to implement his policies. I think they're going to do everything they can to frustrate his agenda, to undermine him, to white-ant him. But I think this time around, you're going to get a very different Donald Trump. He's aware of what they're going to do, and I think he's going there fully equipped to deal with that bureaucracy. Let's hope so. There is a little bit of conflict within the MAGA camp, though, and it's continuing. Steve Bannon has lashed out at Elon Musk, calling him evil. He's slammed Musk's support for the skilled worker visa program, which Silicon Valley loves. And he said that he's planning to limit Musk's ability to influence Donald Trump's agenda. He said, why do we have South Africans, the most racist people on earth, white South Africans, making any comments at all on what goes on in the United States? He told an Italian newspaper, and he said also Elon Musk should go back to South Africa. Wow. Is this causing many waves within the Trump camp, or are you always going to have some level of disagreement, even if it's a robust disagreement, when you've got such a big majority of people with different worldviews who are fundamentally a part of the Trump agenda, but they're not going to agree on every topic every time?
No, you know, I don't want to go as far as Steve Bannon and say that we need to deport Elon Musk, but a lot of conservatives have always been kind of a little bit wary of Elon because, you know, he's into Neuralink, where he wants to hook a computer up to your brain. And, you know, to us, that just seems kind of weird to normal human beings that they're going to have a computer hooked to their brain so they can park their Tesla. And listen, Elon Musk has done so many great things when it comes to free speech on X. I love Elon Musk, but at the same time, you know, he is a immigrant in our country, and he's calling the shots, some really important shots. So I think that just makes people always skeptical of, you know, the people that are in power. But honestly, when it comes to Elon Musk, as long as he keeps Twitter where I can survive on there, I'm going to respect Elon. You know, he wants to go to Mars so dang bad. I think we need to worry about America first. You know what I mean? You know, I think we should put America before Mars. But other than that, Elon's a good guy, and I support him.
Now, before you go, Alex, Donald Trump has posted footage of his viral exchange with President Barack Obama at President Carter's funeral. I've got to say, this is hilarious stuff, and I like to believe it's pretty close to the actual discussion they had.
Well, Mr. President.
For a second time. Barack, very nice to see you.
Congratulations. How you doing?
A lot better, Dad.
Yeah, I bet. Knew you'd win.
Oh, really? Oh, come on. Anyone could beat her.
Kidding
She's
me?
just...
I was just as a pawn. You know what happened? He just didn't want to leave.
I know.
Is what happened. I did what I could to help her. She was horrendous.
I know. You know what I realized? Hillary still hates me so much. I know she'll never forget me.
I wonder if one day we will have lip readers tell us precisely what was said there. But what do you think of the fact that after everything Barack Obama threw at Donald Trump, calling him a fascist, modern day Hitler, spreading all sorts of lies about him, even the most debunked lies about the Very Fine People hoax, he sat down and had a chat with him, was very, very friendly and polite. Is that a surprise, or is everything forgiven in the world of politics?
Well, I don't think anything's forgiven. There's no love lost between Barack Obama and Donald Trump, but Barack is probably happy that he had an excuse to not bring Michelle, so he could just have a boys' trip with Donald. And you saw him palling around with George Bush. So, you know, Barack Obama realizes that they are in a special fraternity of men that very few people are. You know, there's only been 47 presidents, there's been more presidents than that.
Yes.
Less than that, but I'm saying there's actually presidents before the first president. So, you know, there's a lot of conspiracies behind how many presidents we've ever had, and I'm saying that on Sky News, but you got to look into that. But Rita, I'm just saying they're in a very special fraternity, so they're all kind of friends, you know, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, and I always got the feeling that Barack never really rated Kamala Harris. He may have campaigned for her, but I mean, his campaigning wasn't very helpful. But you never thought he had his heart in it. Just the same with President Biden. I don't think he really thought he was up to it either. Alex Stein, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Rita. Always a pleasure. And I've missed you. So happy holidays. Happy New Year. Let's go Sky News. Thank you, Rita.